How's it going, guys? We're here to check out yet another Rust update. A month has passed once again, and we are jumping straight into November to check out what's new with that. So right now, I'd say the biggest thing is the team is in the background converting over the HDRP assets to the current game. Now, if you don't know what was going on with that, HDRP just isn't working out with the current limitations within the game engine that Rust is built upon. So they said instead of holding everything back, they're going to import everything they can, bring in all the improvements that they are able to the current version of Rust. So that's the big thing being worked on in the background, along with animal AI being redone completely, I should say, and a few other big things like that. So they have a couple other things hidden there on the side. There's a mine cart kind of thing coming up with train tracks that connect across the entire map, as well as a junkyard crane that you can use to scrap vehicles for mega profit, and entire tech tree and mission systems of some sort. So with all that big stuff being worked on in the background, we got a little bit of just kind of some fun stuff and some fixes for this update. Some of the other things that I would say are kind of just worth noting, lit torches will now last the full duration of a night in game instead of burning out before that. They do not give heat yet, but I know that's something that's eventually meant to be worked on. Workbenches are no longer going to be rotatable. That is not a bug. That is just part of a thing. Counters can now be deployed onto the outside of a HQM wall. Beforehand, if you tried to, it just wouldn't work. And they fixed a huge lag spike issue, which was attributed to skins. And now if you die to an auto turret, it's not just some kind of mystery death. It'll actually tell you it was an auto turret. If you've ever been killed by some mysterious python in the middle of the forest, it might have been a turret. And a huge fix, I would say, would be that horses no longer stop eating when their stamina is full. This is why horses were starving to death. Now they will actually feed until their health is full and their stamina is full. As well as the storage monitor can be deployed on your vending machines, so you can track your vending machines from the Rust Plus app. So that is actually a cool little addition as well. So with some new changes, we've got huge change with the stables, which we'll cover in the end here, which will be covering horses and such. But we do have a couple of new things like the taxi module, a lot of big changes to vehicles, and the new kind of RP item, the telephone. So here's the telephone. This guy can be found out in the wild as, you know, anything else. It costs 1 power to run. If we look at the crafting costs, here you'll see it's 50 wood, 100 metal frags, and a tech trash, and requires workbench level 1. So once you have it hooked up to power, there is an option also to have a pass-through. You'll see for this phone, I have a pass-through connected to this light. You can connect it to, you know, anything that can take that one electrical burst signal pass-through kind of thing. So technically, you could even set these up to call an elevator, I guess. Anyways, there's all sorts of stuff you could do with it. Speaking of elevators, they now consistently require 5 power. It's not going to fluctuate depending on use up and down from that. So that is a nice little change as well. So the way these guys are going to work is you can actually just dial up a number. Each phone has its own number. You can give it a name if you like. And then you can add your own contacts, or you can look at the directory and you'll see that there's actual phones hanging out at all of these different monuments that you can call and see who answers, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and call Other Me. And you'll see, you can hear it ringing, and as that pass-through is working, it is setting off a light right there. So, you know, it'll keep doing that until someone either picks up or you give up. So it's just, again, a fun little thing. There is a fax machine attached to the bottom of it, and I really hope maybe we can send faxes one day. That could be kind of silly. But I could also see people abusing that horribly. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But onto vehicles, a lot of people aren't using them, and it was the accessibility seemed to be the most common feedback. So now it has been really balanced quite a bit, I would say. We have a research cost and purchase cost balance. So if we actually take a look at over here at the outpost, you'll see they drop significantly in price: 70, 100, 70, 70, and 100. That is a pretty good price drop there. We accidentally let go of the map. And then if you head over prospectively to see the medium parts over at Bandit Town, you'll see 40, 65 is the other ones for it. There's, of course, the car lift for 150 too. Also mentioning, the car lift now only requires 5 power to it, which is just so much nicer. So that's 10 power cut off the price there. And I feel like that's really just going to help a lot of people. Also, if you're trying to put like multiple car lifts next to each other, it was always such a pain to split that off and not just use one dedicated power source for it, So now you can actually kind of, really distribute it, and it seems a little more worth. Plus, when a car is on a powered lift, it does not decay at all. So that is, a added bonus with that reducing cost. So that will help with the upkeep with them as well. So in addition to those costs going down, the actual costs of crafting cars has gone down significantly as well. Let's see, if we just go into the other here, you'll see that there's no more high qual required to make car parts. You'll see here that it is about 40, 25, 25, 25, 25, okay? And then over here, we've got 100, 70, 70, 70, 70. And you can now learn and craft the high quality parts, and they're just 170, 120, 120, 120, 120, and a workbench level 3 respectively. So no more high qual costs in the car parts, and the high quality tier can be learned. So that's actually a very, very nice addition there. You'll also notice that most of the car pieces themselves have also seen a reduction in cost, and this should help in addition on top of everything. So yeah, that's just kind of the big changes there with the cars. I think it's going to make it a lot more accessible for a lot of people, and it's just a really nice little, balance to everything. So, I mean, sound off down in the comment section below, guys. I mean, does this make you want to use them a little more? And, does that help? Also, one of the other things is car parts are in the toolboxes. This is something that has been irritating people for quite some time. So car parts now have their own box. So let's go on over and I'll show you what to keep an eye out for. Alright, so you'll still find them in the average places where you should, Oxums, mining outposts, etc. And they literally are a tray of car parts. So you'll see this little blue faded tray of car, and it has little car parts on it. You get some scrap, and you get some car parts, and that is actually literally the loot containers. So I know Rust, here's another one right there. Rust wants to go away from having boxes for everything and actually have loot spawn like in shelves and stuff like that in the world eventually. So it looks like this is kind of a step towards that. At least this box kind of, looks like literally what is inside of it, which I thought was kind of neat. In addition to that, we do have the Destroyable road signs. So these guys over here can actually be completely destroyed. You can actually run them down with the car and collect them as well, which I thought was kind of a creative little way to deal with that. But you can hack them on down, and once you get it down, honestly, fastest way is going to be something like a sword. You're going to always get a road sign and a pipe. And that's going to be your typical thing right there with it. So, it's a little bit extra kind of thing, but hey, you need those pipes or just some great early scrap. Why not? This is definitely a nice little way of helping get going in the beginning. Now that we're back over here, before we jump into the horses, we'll show the new car part, and that is the taxi module. So if you actually pop on over into here, you'll see it right here. It's going to cost you 175 metal frags, 125 wood, and 5 high qual. It's going to require workbench level 2, and this thing is literally for carting around people. So you can jump on in, and you'll see that there's actually a safe trading here. So that means someone can go ahead and pay you for your service, or you can drive around and do some safe trading pretty much. If you have this locked, any passenger that goes into the car will end up in the taxi part. If you don't want that person, you can always kick the passenger using this kick passenger button. You literally just turn back, look at it, say bye-bye, and boom, kick passenger. It even has a little sound effect, and it boots them out there, and you can drive on off. As long as this is locked, they aren't going to be getting in. So yeah, this is, with taxis and phones, I can see some awesome RP stuff coming, or just people calling people before they raid them, and being like, you know, I'm going to blow up your house. Who's this? Be like, look outside, you know, do some stupid scary movie junk, or something like that, you know? One way or another. These are just some fun little items while the devs are working hardcore on the really important stuff in the background, like I mentioned earlier. So that's pretty much covering mostly what we've got here. So let's go get to the big changes, which is all the changes to the horses. Alright, so let's dive into how to get horses now, and there's going to be some changes to that. So let me say right now, the devs were going to re-enable a small amount of rowboat spawns around the world, as well as leave some horses in. They had to edit the spawning system for that, and I guess there's some kind of unforeseen problem, they said, that came with the spawning, and things just weren't working right. So they said next patch, some boats randomly will spawn again, and horses will spawn in the wild too. So that is something a lot of people have been really asking for, and I think that's awesome. It just sucks it didn't make it into this update today. But hey, something to look forward to for December. So one way or another, you can now grab horses from the stables. So there's two different areas. There's the ranch, and then there is the large barn, which we've got one all the way down here. So let's go ahead and check out the ranch. You take a look at it from the outside here. You can see all the little horse season along the outside. Of course, this is a safe zone. And so you're basically just gonna drop on down, walk up to this guy here, and basically the way this works is you can buy a horse from him or horse-related items, and basically the way to get a horse is actually to buy a saddle. And then, of course, you can learn the roadside and high-quality parts here. Those are no longer going to be at the outpost anymore, so it's going to be here at these stables. So now that we actually have it, if you see you say, go ahead, I want a horse, he says buy a saddle, so we bought a saddle, thanks. And I guess they're selling a car too. You can come over here and now pick out a horse for yourself, and I recommend examining them. And you can check out their health and max speed and so forth, you know, on each one. Let's see, what's this guy like? That's worse than the other one. Do you have like a stallion somewhere? Oof. Not you. Maybe that one. 47's not too bad. 38, definitely not. 43. I'm going for a fast horse if you haven't been able to figure that out yet. 43, 47. Here, we'll go with this guy. So then what you're going to do is hit claim, and it will put you onto your horse with a saddle. And off you ride into the sunset on your horse. And there you go. That's it. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel maybe it's a little bit pricey for the horse, 150. But maybe, I don't know. If we could maybe breed horses somehow, it wouldn't feel as bad, I guess. We'll just have to see how it goes. Of course, things can always change. Oh, they changed the music over here. I didn't even realize that. Oh, that's so cool. It was playing the reggae from the boat shops before. That's really cool. Alright, well, let's go check out the other version of the monument. Alright, and here we approach. As you can see, this is the larger version. It's got this huge little open area for the horses to run around in. Of course, I don't seem to see any. That would probably be a bit taxing to put onto the server. But there's that music, and here's one of those new phone booths. And you can see it's got all sorts of decorations going on. And in here, you actually pick out the horses in this big old stable. Watch out for the horse poo. There's plenty around. You can see over here, ooh, there's a white thoroughbred. Those, look at that, 54. Do they also have a black stallion? Oh, black thoroughbred, yep. 54. Ooh, so this one also seems to have better horses, but I think it is kind of at random, because once you buy one, they get replaced by another one, and that kind of just changes it up. But yeah, that's basically how these are going to work. Like I said, hopefully sooner, but at least, you know, at latest they're going to try to get in horses spawning eventually by next month again. So there will be, you know, wild horses. I don't know if we're going to have to claim them with the saddle that we buy from here, or if they'll spawn with a saddle. I'm not sure, but we'll just have to see there. And the return to rowboats will definitely be nice. So guys, that's going to do it. Keep an eye out for my skin video, which should be out shortly after this. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great upcoming wipe.